it's always sad to see when a titan of a company that was beloved by millions upon millions starting to deteriorate both in a moral sense and in quality sense when they're producing their products. And you're seeing this slowly happening throughout the years until eventually you know that there is going to be something that would completely break them. And when that thing arrives and you see the full glory of the failure that is going to ensue from releasing that said janky product, you are both with mixed feelings of satisfaction that a company that is solely responsible for its demise is finally going to receive it, but also a little bit sad because it could have been so much different. Greetings, ladies and gents, my name is Hilsu, the bearded Balkan Blammer Mode, and I am discussing, and Assassin's Creed Shadows has dropped officially. It is released, and the first weekend of playing this game has passed. People have already had the absolute initial hype, they have already bought, played, returned, liked or disliked the game, and the numbers have peaked as much as possible. So now the question stands, is this game going to be the complete financial success that it was boasted up for? Will all the delays that happened not once but twice, costing tens of millions of dollars in order to remove all the defects, all the janky shit that we have seen before, in order to bring us a polished diamond that would revolutionize gaming and would own the charts, happen?
Resentment can grow quietly without much warning after a storm. Mushrooms can too. Shiitake?
The answer is no. I want to start this video with something very funny to me, and this is a article from PC Gamer. Now, I am no journalist. I am not someone who works at a company and writes stuff for them and probably needs to spin a certain narrative, as we have seen with a lot of mainstream journalists. However, there needs to be a border, like a stop, a limit to all the stupid shit that someone can write officially on a major website. And I was very sad to discover when I saw Hypnotic cover this earlier that such a limit does not indeed exist. Assassin's Creed Shadows hits 2 million players, putting it on track to be the series' most successful game yet. I think they have misplaced a word there. 2 million players does not constitute sales. This is something very important and we'll get back to that. But let us continue. Just 3 days after its release date, Assassin's Creed Shadows has hit yet another milestone and passed 2 million players. According to Ubisoft, Assassin's Creed Shadows has now surpassed the launches of AC Origins and Odyssey. Okay, that is something that might be true. However, let us just observe something else. You have Plus, which is a subscription service which provides you with the latest releases for $15 or $16. So 2 million players is someone counting everyone, every single person that plays or starts or downloads and just clicks play for a minute to test if the game is going to even work on their PC. That's pretty much the metric, and it's not a wrong metric because they have technically started playing the game. However, it's nothing, it holds nothing when it comes to actual charts and actual metrics that matter, and in this regard, money and profit. Shadows has already sailed past 1 million players in its first 24 hours, easily breaking AC Valhalla's record. Now, it's safe to put that into perspective. When Valhalla released in 2020, Ubisoft claimed it was its bigger PC launch ever, although the game's Steam player base remains smaller than other games in the AC franchise. Yeah, you know why that is? It is because Assassin's Creed Valhalla is not a day one Steam release. It actually released on Steam 2 years later, well after all the hype had died down, and it's still ranked up somewhere between 15,000 concurrent players, which I think is very good when you're talking about 2 years after the game was first released. So this by itself is an absolute idiotic statement by the person who has written this article. 5 years later, Shadow seems to have eclipsed even that. Well, of course it's gonna eclipse it. It's a day one Steam release and it's a game by Ubisoft. It's an Assassin's Creed game. It's not gonna have 5 players. This record-breaking wave of players, it's nowhere near. Like, it might be with Ubisoft and with Assassin's Creed franchise, it might break some record, but it's not totally record-breaking. I mean, you only need to look at Monster Hunter Wilds and Black Myth Wukong. So yeah, at launch is thanks in part to the fact that Ubisoft didn't wait to release Shadows on Steam. Valhalla didn't arrive on Steam until a full 2 years after its release. That okay, so if you're saying this, why do you have this comparison over here? Are you fucking stupid? I would imagine yes. That may explain why Valhalla has far fewer players on Steam than Shadows, Odyssey, and Origins, which were all available on Steam at launch. Gee, you really think so, Sherlock? Whoa, you must be some kind of a special smart person. At the time of writing, Shadow's all-time peak concurrent player count on Steam is hovering at just over 60,000, with splitting distance in Odyssey's record 62,000, but far beyond Origins 41,000 and Valhalla's 15,000. Okay, you already established that Valhalla is not a day one release. Why mention it at all? I know that you want to boost that this game is some absolute success, but it doesn't work like that, especially when you have admitted yourself that this is a special case. You don't do that. This is absolutely deceitful and stupid. Everyone with 2 eyes and 2 brain cells can check that. If Shadows continues to attract new players at this rate, it could pass Odyssey's record in a matter of days. The article continues with even worse take that I have ever seen. In fact, Shadows is on track to be one of the biggest game releases of the year. Kingdom Come Deliverance was hailed as a hit earlier this year and took 2 weeks to hit 2 million players. Slight correction there. It didn't hit 2 million players. It hit 2 million copies sold, my dear friend. It's not 2 million players. It's copies sold, which is something that you do not write, and you cannot say because you cannot report on these things because you don't have 2 million sales. And when we're talking about sales, we're not talking about subscription services. We're talking about pure sales at full price on Steam, or maybe at the very best some 10% off for a bundle with a site that is promoting the game. 2 million players, you might have it, but this does include a lot of subscription services. This does include much diminished profits. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 has 2 million copies sold. Copies, this is full price. I'm not gonna stop repeating that. And yet they still hail it as a milestone, Shadows reaching just a few days. This is the level of deception that people do. People in the mainstream media who want to throw sand in your eyes and then tell you that to just walk wherever they tell you. They want to lead you to the deceitful place. It's not how it works, and that's why people like me, people like Hypnotic, people like SmashG are constantly reporting without any tiring, and that's why it will never stop, because mainstream media is deceptive as fuck. I am not going to read the rest of the article. Instead, I will immediately rebuttal a lot of what was said in it with nothing else but official Steam numbers. We are at SteamDB, and I'm going to refresh, and we can now see some very nice stats. First of all, the game released on Thursday. It climbed very good at 25,000, which was on Thursday, and that was until the end of that week. Then we had a little bit of a dip. Then we have a little bit of a peak again on later that day, and we reached 41,000. Okay, that is admirable, to say the least, for any other game aside from a Ubisoft game that costs as much as that game costs, but we'll get to that as well. And then we have a very steep dip going to 25,000, then another dip for 46,000 on Friday, and then we are entering into opening weekend, which is the biggest rise. And if you have watched my videos, I have explained the simple psychology of wanting the new product, which each and every one of you knows and has experienced. It goes a little bit like this. When something new and exciting arrives, everybody and their mother rushes to get it. You have seen this with iPhones, you've seen this with new PC releases. In the past, if someone is, let's say, in their 40s or 50s and watching this video, will know what was like have a new car release and just go and check it, buy it, replace your old car for the new car. That was also a thing at certain places. In general, everything new and exciting, that is the next model, that is the new and improved one, was highly sought immediately. Nobody wanted to wait. Everybody wants to be the first that gets the new good toy. That is the consumer mentality, which means in the case of Assassin's Creed Shadows that this chart is probably 99% sure the highest that this game is going to have as concurrent players on full price. 64,825 people. This is more than 20,000 less than Dragon Age the Veilguard. And Dragon Age the Veilguard was what? Let me hear you say it. A flop. A giant, massive, absolutely abhorrent $200 million plus flop. And seeing how this dip is now going on today and just managing to go two-thirds of the way in Monday, we can be assured that this trend is going to go in a downward spiral. This is it. This is the number that they are going to reach, but we are not done. We also have this game, and I'm going to just show you. As you know, I enjoy being very generous in times like this because I think that we should give every single benefit of the doubt to a game even as bad as Dragon Age the Veilguard or Assassin's Creed Shadows. Now I want to mention one thing because I am sure that someone is going to ask this if I have played the game. I have not. I have still not managed to get the game due to several reasons. However, I don't think that it is necessary because, as you will notice in this video, I do not speak about the game features. I do not currently speak about how the game feels with me, how I feel it's played, how I view it as a gaming experience. The most I can do is point out the public bugs that have been posted on X and on social media and what we see on the charts and on the numbers. That is the extent that I will go for a game that I have not been playing. So I will speak from the numbers, and people who play the game can speak for the game's experience. I have already heard a lot of opinions, and let me tell you, they are not good enough, at least. Back to Gamealytics. Let's take the absolute higher number, which is 750.9 thousand copies sold with a $44.3 million in current gross revenue. And the gross revenue is gross revenue because we still have Steam to take 30%. And if you want to, you can calculate it for yourself. The numbers are not that good, but let us be generous. Let us double, let us triple these numbers. It's still not going to be enough. And as with Dragon Age the Veilguard, we can safely assume that the number for consoles are in total around as much as is on Steam, because Steam is the biggest platform for day one gaming, and it's still the dominant and even more so place for games to be bought. When PC Gamer was comparing it for other Assassin's Creed games, we need to also take notice that some of these games were 7-8 years older when Steam was still not as big, and we still had a lot more people playing on consoles. This is one more thing that we can take as a variable metric. On the funny side, we have this image. This is amazing to me. We have Yasuke Simulator, the parody game that was probably done in someone's basement, and it costs probably a couple of $100 at all for someone to make and get his friends to make it with him. Had more viewers on Twitch at a certain point than Assassin's Creed Shadows. You can see 49.7 thousand to 32.8 thousand in favor of Yasuke Simulator. Now, I know that this is probably because I saw that Asmongold did stream that game. Might be because of that, because he gets a lot of viewers. However, having one person being able to do that and for the numbers to be so vastly different just showcases all the problems that Assassin's Creed Shadows has. But we are not done. We have this video from Stuttering Craig, which has 10.9 million views over the weekend. This is absolutely amazing. This is the ending credits for Assassin's Creed Shadows. 2 hours, 6 minutes and 20 seconds. Holy shit. This is absolutely wild. These are 2 hours of a clip at the end of the game that is posting people, companies, departments, all agencies that have worked for this game. These are 2 hours. This is longer than a movie, and you can just feel how much these people were getting paid and how much money went into those people alone. We are talking outside of assets, rents, catering, licenses, renewal of licenses, all of this shit. This is just that. And to top everything off with a huge cherry on top, we have this post from Smash JT. I've seen a generally agreed upon sentiment estimating that Assassin's Creed Shadows cost Ubisoft somewhere between $250 and $350 million or so. Yes, it did. That's before the ending scenes being posted and being 2 hours. 250 to 350 was the general consensus. But what if I told you there are currently unsubstantiated rumors? Unsubstantiated rumors is very important because they're still not confirmed, they're just rumors. However, you know how these things go. Very often, these rumors turn out to actually be true because they're coming from reputable sources or they have origins that are clad in truth and they only need to be confirmed on a greater basis. There are currently unsubstantiated rumors of it actually costing them upwards of $900 million. This is absolutely insane if it turns out to be true. 900 million. This is on par with Skull and Bones, which was a massive flop. He continues, would you believe it? 2 hour plus and credits. Yes, that's exactly what we covered. This is something that is a very clear indicator that this game does not cost that amount, but at least twice as that. Over 3,000 employees. 5+ years in development, endless rewrites, reworking, yes, and delays. One of those delays cost them $20 million alone. Pointless DEI injections. We know how much they like to charge for absolutely needless things. Useless consultants, and all of this with voice acting that we have seen is abhorrent. He finishes off nearly 20,000 employees, infected games. The inevitable collapse is going to be absolutely catastrophic. Ubisoft is so beyond cooked. Yes, it is. This is what we are currently seeing. Assassin's Creed Shadows needed to be the pivotal moment of Ubisoft. It needed to be their saving grace, their branch, their throne ladder so that they can climb out of the pit and into the light again. And what happened? Its game had less numbers of concurrent players than Veilguard, which also cost 200 million if we're to believe that they are exactly the same in cost, and it failed spectacularly. We also see mainstream media trying to shield for them so hard, trying to compare it to Kingdom Come Deliverance in a desperate attempt to present a better picture. We also see them refusing to say that even they had 1 million sales, because if they did have 1 million sales, they would have reported it. They have not. We also see all those new clips and all those new information that is saying that this is a flop, and it is. You can see it. The numbers are there. They're showing you everything you need to know. And I can say again, you can double everything that I have shown you in this video. You can double it, triple it with the budget that high. they would need to quadruple the budget in the opening weekend. In short, they needed Black Myth Wukong opening numbers in order to just sit tight and say, alright, I think we are in the clear. Instead, they have less than Veilguard, and they will continue to have less than Veilguard. Ubisoft is currently cooked to perfection, and it is ripe for the cutting and the picking and the eating. That's what's going to happen to them. They have no other ace in their sleeve, at least. They have not reported any other project that are going on that might potentially bring them to some sort of profits. They already have losses last year in the upwards of several billion, and they are starting the year similarly with Assassin's Creed Shadows. It's not going well for them. We're going to see in the following weeks and months what's going to happen with the company, because I believe that the reports are going to start flooding very quickly. However, I have no doubt in my mind that with Ubisoft, things are done. The fat lady is singing, and she is singing very, very loudly. Thank you very much for watching this video up until this point. If you want to leave your opinions down in the comment section below, please do so. I do enjoy reading your comments. Please follow me here and on my socials. Press the like and subscribe button. Press the join button if you want to support me directly and support homeless animals and animals in shelters. I also have a Patreon link down in the description below dedicated entirely to helping animals, and I appreciate each and everything that you do on that regard greatly. Thank you very much. My name is Helso. This was DiscussThing, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Cheers and stay fresh.